Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. Featuring today, 1 vs 1 on Semois. Sorry, I'm so short of breath. I'm just awfully excited. We've actually gotten some pre-order details on Company of Heroes 2 with a lot of details on the actual game. Anyways, we shall be watching PowerGuido fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 352nd Infantry Division. Opposing them shall be WMDangrypussycat, fighting for the Americans, fighting for the 3rd Infantry Division. WMDangrypussycat also being WMD General Hell. Yes, indeed, General Hell. Taking the good fight. We are seeing a 3 Pioneer Star versus a 3 Engineer Star. And what's this? He's moving into the house. They're both going for forward headquarters starts. This is definitely a bit irregular, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a bit fun and interesting. And of course with different implications for either side if they go for the forward headquarters start. For the Wehrmacht it means no snipers, bikes or MGs. For the Americans, no upgrades for the riflemen. Or a Jeep for that matter. So I mean definitely very interesting implication, yet still different ones. Clearly though both are going to go for infantry, but the Wehrmacht might go for heavy infantry of course. And the American might go for less and then go for something in his base to sort of provide support. Fun, very interesting. Volkswagen squad on the way though. Pioneers heading westwards, Engineers doing the same. Probably going to see some riflemen up from that Fort American headquarters to Fort Barracks. But fun for everyone. As for the pre-order stuff, there's certainly been some few complaints about this. Some feeling, oh no, we're getting ripped off. Because we are getting skins. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's basically all there is. For some, there's worry about in-game premium currency, which basically means if there's enough pre-orders on Steam, and that's the thing to note, if enough, you will get money. Specifically in-game money to use on whatever DLC you want. So I mean, it's not because there's going to be a special currency system in-game. It's basically their way of ensuring you actually get some money to use on DLC. And yes, there will be DLC. Big whoop. There will be free stuff. There will be paid for stuff. There will be skins. There will be maps. And there will be single-player DLC, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, single-player DLC. So there's that as well. And if you pre-order at the THQ store, the regular edition, you'll actually be able to get a pass that will actually give you access to the multiplayer DLC. If you want access to sort of the single-player DLC for free, for example, you'll have to get the Digital Collector's Edition, which also has a few more skins. Note the engagements right here. Volkswagen's being a bit pushed back. Riflemen are also holding on. A bit of engagement right here between Engineers and Pioneers. And again, sorry I'm talking, I just want to get it out because there's been a lot of people being angry for what I at least perceive as no real good reason. Or at least fully, because some are just overreacting. I mean, there might be some good points, but I think they might be blowing a bit out of proportions. But again, I mean, skins like, for example, skins for your medium tanks, Soviet and German, and for heavy tanks. I've even got some screenshots showing it off, which you can find on Twitter if you follow me in there. Of course, there'll be a link in the comments section. Lots of cool stuff there, though. Very cool stuff right from though heading out. Volkswagen is doing what they can there. PowerGuido could be laying down a bit of barbed wire. In fact, he's being forced to run up here, and he actually spent a lot of time wiring this off, and the Engineers, of course, cut right through it. Another Volkswagen is on the way. 2 squads so far, 3rd on the way. 2 for General Hell. No, he's actually down to 1 squad, apparently. Interesting. Might be forgetting something. Or perhaps I know he's got 2 there, so of course I'm forgetting something. Again, all my excitement, sorry. I mean, it's just pretty interesting because I've actually rarely seen a collector's edition actually contain so much in-game stuff. I mean, not in the sense that it actually offers you anything specific besides the skins. It's largely just the promise of you getting more stuff in the future. Basically, and you won't have to pay for it, largely. Plus, of course, some other bits. I mean, overall, that's pretty fun. Plus, of course, the fact that it'll be single-player downloadable content. I mean, how many strategy games does get that? Anyways, onto the fight. Volkswagen versus Rifleman. The Volkswagen definitely have the great advantage here, having the heavier cover and the range. The Rifleman definitely not doing too well then. Of course, they're closer to the forward barracks. Another Volkswagen squad on the way, and PowerGuido is forced to actually retake a lot of points. He's being heavily harassed though, and that's definitely one thing that General Hill is actually pretty good at. He's tying down a larger Volkswagen force with more rifle, but of course he's got others sneaking through. Excellent usage of his forces. And of course, minimizing the combat effectiveness of the Volkswagen, since again, they rather work in groups, whereas Rifle are sort of like slightly more individualist squads, doing alright in that sense. But we are seeing the 4th squad moving in, arriving to the combat scene, while the troops moving back to reinforce, taking heavy losses to General Hill's riflemen. Flamethrowers also moving up. Other Volkswagen hiding over here by the fence, on the fence as to whether or not to move out. These chaps need to get back and reinforce. Schnell, schnell. Flamethrowers burning in, and we are seeing a weapon support send up already. Could be he might be going for a sniper, or is he going for a mortar? So many possibilities. Troops lining up there, preparing for another assault, a fresh one in fact. Apparently gathering up into 2 separate groups. One might take up here, the other might hook up through here. Nice combination, I suppose, at least. Spread there, Pioneers being forced off, though so far, I mean, PowerGuido is in fact pretty quickly regaining territory. Bunker going up, I imagine that's going to be a medic bunker, because again with 4 Volkswagen squads, he's going to have a lot of infantry, and that's going to generate a lot of casualties, which means a lot of wounded, which means something for the medics to actually pick up. Skirmish phase on the way, riflemen coming under fire, 1 man dropped, and of course question is PowerGuido actually aware that his opponent has gone for the forward barracks? I mean, it's pretty rare an American starts out like this, and of course if he also knows that Angry Pussycat will not be going for BARs, grenades or sticky bombs, because he's not going to get a barracks, or at least he's not very likely to it. So I mean, there's definitely some things to remember there. At the same time, he's again moving in for that cutoff point. Might be an idea for PowerGuido to mind that, but too late. Medic bunker, they're on the way. Volkswagen's moving up here, taking up position there in this pre-prepared position. Nicely done, of course, by PowerGuido. A bit of foresight right there. But again, not quite enough foresight to prevent the Americans from sneaking up there on the other flank. He's definitely suffering a bit in that department. No doctrine as of yet.
We're losing a sector.
And the thump of the mortar can be heard. General Hill, aka Angry Pussycat, is pulling up the mortar, going to bombard the Krauts. Make it much more difficult for them to actually sort of hold a static fight, which could definitely be to his advantage. Although again, if he was to flank up here while the riflemen were occupied elsewhere, of course his mortar would be in a lot of trouble. So there's definitely some good things and some bad things with his approach by General Hill. Of course, again, he's actually leaving the mortar rather exposed again. If PowerGuido was to push up through here again, that mortar would be forced to retreat, and that could be a problem for General Hill. Rather important note I would like to make. Also, another thing is there's apparently something called commander archetypes. What are those? I'm not quite clear. My best guess, it's basically, imagine something like, you know, imagine you had your officer, but you could actually replace him with the terror officer or something like that. It's sort of like a reward system, but instead for officers. And there's apparently going to be a bit something more special about them. That's all I really can speculate on at the moment. Otherwise, all I can say is, if something seems a bit incredible while reading all of this, don't panic. That's really the best advice I can give you. Do not panic. Some people are, of course, prone to panicking, and they, of course, will be currently the loudest voices. So do try to calm them down if possible, because they are overreacting. We are seeing a bit more further fighting here as General Hill is pushing forward. Volkswagen is suffering a bit. Medics are actually getting gunned down, so they're not actually really much helpful at the moment. And, of course, there's a mortar now. We are seeing defensive up. For the Farland goes up to try and sort of push these Volkswagens into the fight. Might want to clear those engineers up and then rush a unit into perhaps the building. No. He needs more Volkswagens up, though. He needs more Volksgrenadiers, but he's already lost 1 squad. Definitely not good for him. PowerGuido's men, the soldiers, was a 352nd, actually a pretty good division during the fighting in Normandy. Certainly one of the that held the longest. I'm somehow trying to mess up several grammar bits, but nonetheless held the longest against the Americans and actually did most damage and tied up the most divisions. He is currently, though, suffering a lot of problems here. Troops need reinforcements, and he hasn't quite been able to reach the stage where in the defensive doctrine where he can reinforce from his bunker. And of course the forward barracks is gone, so he can't reinforce from that either. He's actually hurting pretty badly. But there we go, though. Going up, and I believe that also makes the bunker a bit tougher. There we go. Another for the fire line up. We are seeing a storm army, though, on the way for the PowerGuido. Well, the mortar keeps killing the Krauts, although actually only 2 at the moment. But a nice fight right here. I mean, General Hill is really keeping up the pressure on PowerGuido, although he has to be a bit careful the mortar doesn't kill his own men. Veterans up for the German infantry, giving them a bit of healing. Another man dead. I mean, overall, I mean, General Hill has the advantage because he has cover, and even with for the fatherland, I mean, PowerGuido is much more exposed out in the open, and in this sense, he's actually being drained down. General Hill, on the other hand, is a bit concerned, but he's flooding resources. He's overall doing pretty well, and now he's adding in a sniper to the mix. Bunker down, and there we go. He's going to pull out a bit. He actually just lost an engineer squad. Other riflemen could in fact be going down, though the sniper's quickly pulling up. Mortar with 5 kills. There we go. Sniper adding in. Rifleman General Hill is just trying to move them back to the fort barracks instead of fully retreating them. A bold maneuver, but in this case, it's actually moving. I mean, sometimes, of course, this game is all about, you know, taking risks. Sometimes they work, other times they don't. But again, when they work, they work. Volksguns still need to retreat. They are not in a good fighting condition. PowerGuido. Wigsuk.
Enemy unit
Squad down. All riflemen though getting a killing. Already note there, I mean, within the first 11 minutes, due to all the Volksgunners, and again the sort of lack of good cover. I mean, he's actually gained veterancy too, and the mortar's already got 9 kills, although some of them have been friendly, so of course it's a bit rude, you know, to count them as, you know, kills. Yeah, we killed 9 men today, but Harry, 5 of them were ours. Who cares? I got kills. You're a psychopath. Yes, U.S. Army style. Well, something like that, of course. I'll probably get a lot of U.S. veterans now going, we're going to hunt you down and gut you like a pig. Well, probably not. Again, that would probably not prove them as being any sort of better, but yeah. Sorry about that. Trying to keep things a bit light, of course, with a bit of black humor, which I'm rather fond of. Bunker going up, though. PowerGuido is not going to give up on his bunkers. His Widerstandsneste, as they were known in Normandy, those defense positions. Volksguns though moving in again. Rifle now themselves actually a bit exposed. This could be to the advantage of PowerGuido, the Guido of power. And we're actually hearing the roar of the Nebelwerfer. Finding a bit in support, reinforcing from the bunker up there, of course, functioning as that. Riflemen getting suppressed and getting run off. Actually suffering a bit though to the Nebelwerfer rockets, and the 352nd was actually an infantry division which had received a Nebelwerfer battery as core support. Generally though, a regular infantry division would not have that sort of support in artillery. They would largely have more regular artillery like howitzers and some infantry guns and otherwise mortars. Nebelwerfers were rather reserved either core support or for panzer divisions. But again, the 352nd rather took a rather important position during the entire fight, and thus actually received a lot more support than it probably otherwise would have. Plus, of course, it was generally one of the better ones, holding the beaches of Normandy. The rest were largely, well, what was known as static divisions, basically third-rate divisions, not really composed of the fatherland's best. Sniper gets a full Scunadier. Bit up there, push the veterancy 2 riflemen leading the charge. Nebelwerfer pulling a bit up. Might be an idea to get veterancy 4 to allow it to fire faster. But currently, I mean, PowerGuido is a bit troubled. He's only got 2 full scale squads and he has to actually hold some territory. But thankfully, Angry Pussycat is not pushing up here. Otherwise, definitely Angry PowerGuido would be in a lot more trouble. Though apparently he actually has 3 full scale squads. I wonder what happened. Clearly, I must have missed something. I thought he'd lost one of them already. Never mind. Another bunker going down. Clearly, I mean, he's hoping to recover some way, and apparently that's going to happen for another bunker. Of course, he's also got assault guns, so of course, could be he's planning some sort of infantry. Oh, sniper went down to the Nebelwerfer. Oh, that's very nice, very nice. Stug, of course, could pull off. I mean, again, he must figure then again, since he's seeing support units, he's seeing riflemen, but again, he must, at this stage, know that there's a forward barracks. Of course, he knows there's no barracks, and thus he probably shouldn't be too worried about the great fear, sticky bombs. I mean, he can basically just push in his assault gun and do a lot of damage. The 352nd had assault guns, that is Stooks, instead of its Martyrs it was supposed to have. And fun thing, actually, the Germans decided to pull off a bit of strategic deception and thus rename that little tank destroyer company, which this division was had of Stooks, to actually sort of rename it into a battalion, making the supposed to sort of deceive the Allies to think, oh my goodness, those Germans have a lot of assault guns there. We'd best not attack, because that would be really, really painful, and that's not cool, guys. Assault gun, though, pushing up. Volksgrenadiers fighting away desperately for the fatherland, hoping to kill the not the Tommies, but the Yankees, the Cowboys, those American gangsters. Medics moving in again, 2 medic bunkers. He's really hoping now to sort of fight the war of attrition. He's desperate to get some better infantry. Let's see if it works out. But Stuke, though, moving up, hitting the flank. It's pushing in the name of the fatherland excellently. Although, of course, you might want to get some infantry for it. And the sniper went down. The Volksgrenadier squad arrived from the flank and just gunned him down. Mortar went down as well. Oh my goodness, things are certainly turning very, very ugly for Angry Pussycat. Though he is getting a tank depot up, he's getting tank destroyers. That's definitely going to help. I think there might be another Stug on the way, although again some veterans would also help. Americans pushing up through the south, mines going down, that's good. Although again with defensive doctrine, PowerGuido might in fact be noticing this. There we go, first Grenadier squad ready. Also note, medics sort of gather around the medic bunker. They're sort of closest to where they actually pick up the wound or have to deliver the wounded. So I mean, you can actually end up with like 4 or whatever many medics standing about just one bunker, which certainly has its advantages. Engineers here though suffering quite a bit, getting gunned down to 1 man. Tank destroyers out, but I mean, Angry Pussycat is in a lot of trouble. And in fact, in this case, the German commander could actually just push on. I mean, he's just caused some huge losses. He's killed several snipers and a mortar. And also just let the rifleman dry. I mean, this would really be a good time for PowerGuido to actually push forwards, but he's actually being a bit cautious, I think. And he probably also should be having that assault gun up much closer to the front line, you know, near the infantry. Going for the fuel point. Lots of harassment there. Need of fire. And there we go. Tank destroyer rolling in. Assault gun needs to pull up to support the first one, and he needs some veterancy. Schnell. Volksgrenadiers actually laying down heavy cover, and they manage it. They manage it. Bloody good luck right there. And now definitely Angry Pussycat is on the losing side, particularly because he's actually more concerned with this. So he's actually forgetting about the riflemen there, and they're just getting executed by the Volksgrenadiers. Assault guns more ready to sort of support each other, but again, I do feel PowerGuido could benefit from being a bit more aggressive, a bit more pushy, but he's actually being a bit passive. I mean, considering he just again killed all that, he's got several Volksgrenadiers, he's got Grenadiers, and he's got 2 Sturmgeschützspeer. That rather ought to be the sort of thing, you know, that might convince someone to move out. And 1 Stug moving up, but I mean, here's another problem. I mean, you have to sort of think about paths as well, and you know, not blocking things up, because this is sort of, you know, a nice congestion point, and the idea might be to move away the Nebel River, because I mean, that's blocking the entire path right here. That's a bad thing. Move it over here, you know. Perhaps also mine down a bit, perhaps a bunker, sort of find a bit of flank protection. Otherwise, you know, move it. Do not have it in the middle of the bloody road where you need your vehicles to move. That can end up hurting you a lot when suddenly a lot of pressure is needed. Tank destroyer moving in again. The Stug is not there to support. He needs it up. He needs Grenadiers to provide support. There's a mine there though. Good, good. Tank destroyer, of course, trying to flank. Ooh, shots bouncing off, and the Stug blocks the retreat path. Excellent. The tank destroyer can't escape. Excellent, men. Now destroy this Yankee Panzer. At least imitation Panzer. 95% sink. And we are seeing Allied War Machine though going up in a desperate attempt, of course, to sort of recover minimal losses. But again, he did not get an assault gun, so I mean, it's rather limited. Another tank destroyer moving up. Get up that other Stug. Get it up. Get it up. Schnell. Schnell. He needs to be a bit quicker on his feet. Come on, PowerGuido. React with speed and with German seal. Nice move up here though. Mine finally goes off, killing 1 Volksgrenadier and leaving the others a bit dirty. But again, move that Nebelwerfer. And you need to be a bit more reactive, and you need to be a bit more aggressive, PowerGuido. I think you are being a bit too passive. But let us return to PowerGuido again, using the power of the defensive to be completely passive, which again is not what you want to be. I mean, the essence of defensive doctrine is not necessarily to be to sit on your ass. It's more about, you know, how you gain initiative. With defensive, you're all about draining the opponent's attack and then going on the offensive, then preparing again for the counterattack like that. Instead, what PowerGuido is doing, apparently, is just sticking in one spot and just allowing his opponent to build up speed. That is not the most effective way of doing it. In fact, that's the sort of way you end up allowing your opponent to regain speed to counterattack most aggressively. But we might be seeing 2 repair bunkers up. Tank destroyer rolls in, goes in after the Volksgrenadiers. A few mines might actually be good, you know, to try and restrict his opponent's movements. Always a good thing. Stuks rolling in. Panzerfaust. Rifleman moving in. Again, if he'd had veterancy 2 by now for those assault guns, of course, he could actually sort of stop this entire assault, because again, 2 Stuks with machine guns is pretty much going to stop most infantry assaults, in particular when they do not have sticky bombs. He's getting a 3rd one, and he's actually making a mistake here. He's actually retreating a bit too far, I think. You know, again, exposing the rear. Careful. 4/6. And again, move that bloody Nebelwerfer out of the road. I mean, come on, don't clutter it up. And he's basically just trying to wreck the fort barracks instead of render it neutral. Actually wasting a lot of firepower, I suppose, at the time of the Grenadiers. Right from the moment they're moving up. Fort barracks, though, is not in a good condition. Another repair bunker up. And of course, also note, it's actually forced to move off the road, and again, it actually moves a lot slower there, and of course, it generally messes up the pathing again. He basically just should move that Nebelwerfer. I mean, it's just really, really bad placement of a Nebelwerfer. Tank destroyers are rolling in, and not really good placement of the Stug. I mean, they could easily get isolated, I think, and again, this just isn't working. Volkswagen is getting squished, they have to be careful. 1 tank destroyer down. Not move, just focus down, just focus and fire. He should just have fired and he would have won this again. PowerGuido seems, I think, to actually be overthinking some things. Sometimes he tries to maneuver a bit too much with units that should not be maneuvered. Which again is something you also have to be careful with. More Grenadiers that are getting reformed. And more changes now. Calliope actually joining in. This is definitely putting on the pressure. And again, PowerGuido is just too passive when he could have been pushing and actually doing a lot of damage, taking the advantage away from General Hell. And now, of course, he's going to feel the pressure of the Calliope upon his back or shoulders or whatever. Tank just rolling in. Stuks again, not quite ready. And again, veterans, he would have been nice. He might also consider going actually for the observation post on that fuel point to help a bit with that design. I mean, in particular, veterans 2 for the assault guns is great because, I mean, besides the light machine gun, it actually boosts their health. It gives them a health buff. I mean, that's actually pretty good when you also consider that 15% damage reduction bonus that get. So, I mean, generally, you actually want defensive veterans or whatever for your Stuks. And again, he's moving. He should just be focusing and firing. And again, I mean, he could have gotten that 1 tank destroyer with his Stuk, but instead he missed that opportunity. And in fact, he lost it without actually getting one. The thing, he just got a rifleman squad right there from General Hell. That's something of Angry Pussycat. But again, Guido needs to stop fiddling about when he needs to just be shooting. I think he's way too fiddling about. He's trying to micromanage too much. I mean, that's basically it. He's trying to over-micromanage when he just should be, you know, leaving it to his troops to bloody well shoot. Don't disturb them. Just let them to shoot the opponent. I mean, that's rather important as well. Don't micromanage too much either. And again, get that Nebelwerfer off the road. Of course, General Hell could also benefit from actually getting a Sherman or a medic station. I mean, he's actually losing a lot of infantry. He's down to 2 squads, getting more tanks, of course, but I mean, he's losing a lot. He's being a bit reckless. I mean, otherwise, I mean, PowerGuido is actually causing a lot of damage, but again, PowerGuido is also too passive. There's definitely no power about him. But I mean, again, I think if Angry Pussycat considered actually just getting some Shermans and upgunning them, he might actually have a much better chance against the Stooks. Because, I mean, Sherman's upgun generally outlast Stooks. So something like that would probably be a huge benefit to him. Plus, of course, they can also deal with the German infantry much more smartly. So, of course, something to consider right there, instead of, just throwing in tank destroyers into the meat grinder. Like if so, they were somehow commanding the Soviet Union's forces. Rather than pushing up what little rifle left. Another Stook ready, still no Veterancy 2 for it, though. Again, something he should strongly consider. Strongly. And of course, General Hill getting some supply upgrades is good, but again, I also think he needs a medic station. I think that could also benefit him earlier on, and somewhat insured him against some of those losses he's actually suffered. He could, of course, also consider another mortar to try and bombard the opponent a bit more directly. But of course, he might be a bit worried about the Needler, who's actually moved a bit now, but again, move it off the road. Again, this is pretty much also going to be Calliope territory, so again, move it away from that. Away. Don't leave it in the middle of it. Volkswagen is moving up. Ivan holding up. I mean, General Hill is sort of holding up the pressure. He's probably mostly doing this to just get some targets, or at least occupy the enemy's attention. And now he's actually going to hit the flank with tank destroyers. That could work, but again, his riflemen need to hold out until then. Still no Calliope barrage. Tank destroyers continuing up the eastern flank. The one moves away. What is going on? Angry Pussycat, and now we've got the artillery going in. Cafe is down. Volkswagen's getting rushed off. And he's actually not moving into flank. I think that was then a bit of a wasted motion right there by General Hill. Observation post up by PowerGuido, though, to help with the fuel. Nebelwerfer's firing away. Rifleman down. Taking some nasty losses.
Listen up.
So a bit of quiet. PowerGuido still holding on alright. Again, he's got the infantry majority, he's got the armor majority. What he isn't having is, aggression. He's again, apparently he's sunk a bit too much into the defensive mindset, and he's not moving. He's not moving one bloody step. He's not trying again to take the fight to Angry Pussycat. And again, if he pushed with those 3 assault guns, now in particular their Veterancy 2, he could actually pretty much knock him out. Really, he could. But it's just not happening. He's just sitting there. He just wants to wait this out. And again, the longer he waits, of course, the more time he gives Angry Pussycat to actually come together with something and deliver a death blow to the Germans, to the 352nd Infantry Division. And again, move the Nebelwerfer and get it some healing and some veterancy. But I mean, otherwise, a pretty interesting fight in particular, again, due to the start, not really the sort of usual thing you see. Nebelwerfer decrewed. No surprise there. And we are seeing Angry Pussycat getting snipers again to try and drain the German infantry. Not necessarily a bad idea. And again, some armor I think would help. But come on, push in. 4 vets. General Hill, of course, is not having those sort of problems. He's just moving in, harassing, trying to do damage left and right. Ooh, snipers! Just getting caught in a more general bombardment by the Nebelwerfers, but largely surviving, though.
The Americans are
sneaking up on the flank. And Grenadiers getting sniped. They need to retreat. Rückzug. Of course, you could just move in the assault guns and probably catch the snipers right there. If he so decided, but apparently he's not. Now he's floating a bit of resources. Come on, PowerGuido. Show us that power, Guido. Volksgunners need to retreat. Snipers miss both cases. Veterancy 2 riflemen left to deal with the Veterancy 2 Stook. They definitely do not hold the advantage. Snipers getting out there. Riflemen holding out, and medics getting sniped. False guns moving in from the south, trying to get the snipers. Tank destroyers rolling in. Grenadiers, false guns moving up. Assault guns need to hit the flank right here. Come on. The tank destroyers are there. Hit the flank there. You can catch them right between the two. False guys forcing away the snipers. Come on. Move the Stooks, PowerGuido. You've wanted to overmanage before. Now you're just being too passive. I mean, come on. Show your worth. Don't be too passive.
They're losing territory.
Engineers trying to move in and just get obliterated by the Sturmgeschütz. Of which, of course, in Commander Heroes 2 we will be receiving the Sturmgeschütz 3, not the Stug 4 here as seen. Which was, I think, only produced in about 1,000 to 2,000 numbers, unlike the Stug 3, which had close to 10,000. Mine goes off, damaging the engine of both assault guns. You're probably going to see Allied War Machine up here to recover the losses. Yes, indeed. And again, if he just moved in a bit earlier and hit them from the flanks, he would have been able to do a lot more damage. Probably not even lost one Stug at all. But again, PowerGuido, for some reason, either he's over-managing or he's not managing at all. Gunner killed on the assault gun, looking a bit grim. Main gun destroyed. Going up here for the observation post, another gun squad reformed. So I mean, PowerGuido again has the infantry advantage. Though he's slowly losing the armor advantage. Yes, he's losing, and of course he just recovers those goals, getting some kills. And now a second Calliope is up. Right from here, getting simply just shot to death as false guns and grenadiers move in. And we are seeing the rocket barrage getting ready. A well-placed one, of course, could do a lot of damage. We're seeing more Stugs on the way, and we're seeing Veterancy 3. I have to agree with this decision. Why? Well, thing is, Veterancy 3 gives armored skirts unless we're dealing with Tigers or Ostwind, in which case for the Tiger, less penetration overall. For the Ostwind, increased accuracy. For Stugs, it just gives armored skirts, which largely protect only against infantry like weapons like sticky bombs and such. He's not got sticky bombs to worry about. He's not got bazookas or recoilless rifles. So I mean, in that sense, it's wasted veterancy. I mean, it's really as simple as that. I mean, this is veterancy that is achieving nothing really. I mean, there's a slight advantage as well, some slight protection, but again, nothing really worthwhile. All those resources. I mean, he'd been better off getting another Stug for those resources, or taking up to Panzer Command. He is aware that the opponent has gone for armor, yet he's content with just spamming out Stugs and getting them some veterancy, which they actually don't really need at this stage of the fight. So I mean, it's really odd why he's going for veterancy 3. And then also note this is actually a Smurf. We don't really know his level, as General Hill is a pretty competent American player, pretty good, in fact, level 16. Mr. Angry Pussycat, Mr. General Hill, Mr. whatever he likes to call himself the next moment. And I also think PowerGuido needs to be salvaging some of his armor. Attempt at rocket artillery barrage, not quite catching anything though. General Hill is in fact also being starved for population, which is definitely not helping him either. Again on the road, why not move it a bit to the side? Is it really that complex a concept? But I mean, General Hill needs to sort of, you know, come up with a slightly more sound strategy. I mean, he's running his head into a bit to a wall. He needs something a bit extra. And again, if he is going to go for those heavy assaults, he needs something a bit more thickly armored. He needs a Sherman or two at least upgunned. He can't just throw tank destroyers at Stugs from the front, in particular with grenadiers with Panzerix nearby. That's just asking to get brutally murdered. Grenadiers reinforcing, retreating, so the Fultz Grenadiers. Slowly, PowerGuido is seizing most of the map in the name of the 352nd. A nice heavy artillery barrage going on right there for Angry Pussycat. Already ready to turn that one. This one's needing repairs. Nebelwerfer rockets firing in response. Hoping to catch any infantry moving out here, perhaps the snipers. He's actually using the snipers to take a point. I mean, if PowerGuido right here had a registered artillery barrage, he might actually be able to get that sniper. I mean, this is incredibly risky by Angry Pussycat right here. Absolutely insanely risky. Yet he's just doing it. He's down to one rifleman squad. This is definitely not looking up too well right there. But again, I mean, the astounding thing is PowerGuido is just sitting back. He is way too passive considering the circumstances. He should be pushing. He should be going for the throat, the jugular. He should be stabbing wildly at General Hill, hoping to gut him. But apparently he's just sitting back, enjoying some beer and a newspaper. While listening to a record with Wagner or something. Definitely needs to get a bit more fire into his arse. And in fact, just letting himself be bombarded by the Calliope is not exactly a sound strategy either. And of course, General Hill is just lining up for another assault. He's not giving up. He's going to keep at it until he does something right, which he might actually do, because again, PowerGuido is giving all the time to find the weak link in PowerGuido's defenses and then just drive it home. And again, that's sort of the problem if you're just playing it way too static. All that's going to take is your opponent finds the weak spot, because there's always going to be a weak spot, and then hammer it home. What the beauty of being mobile is, of course, you keep up the pressure, and thus you stress him out. You give him not enough time to react and to sort of try and find any weaknesses. You keep up the pressure. This is not what's happening. He is instead giving Angry Pussycat the time to react, to figure out where's the weak spot, where do I need to hit, where do I need to kill. Now, of course, his full screen is also getting blasted with rockets. Again, because they're not really being supported properly. Full screen squad might in fact be going down. Rifleman lining up to get the shot.
Enemy unit.
There we go, full screen squad down. PowerGuido suffered a loss right there. And so did the Fatherland. Observation post on the munitions. Still no attempt even going for the Panzer Command. I mean, one Panther or Panzer IV with Veterancy 3 would also be pretty powerful. But again, PowerGuido just sticks to a rather narrow strategy at this stage of the fight, and he's just waiting it out. Again, it's not really a sound strategy at all. I mean, again, considering the forces, considering the losses he's inflicted, he should not be doing this. I mean, he should be attacking. Again, he should be attacking, not sitting about. And that's really a huge problem for him, because again, it's basically just giving General Hill the time to figure this out, to do the damage and to kill the crowds he needs to kill. And in fact, General Hill might soon be getting a Pershing tank, in which case, of course, the Stooks might not be enough at all. And let's just beat this out a bit. I mean, it's a bit of a quiet fight all of a sudden, not really a lot happening again, simply because PowerGuido is being a bit too defensive, too sitting much about on his arse.
We are losing a sector.
Naval Weapons in response, not really doing much. Snipers out. Tank destroyers lining up. Another supply and upgrade, that's good. And another sniper, that's interesting. He's hoping to just basically just drain PowerGuido, apparently. And there we go, medics getting murdered. Stooks, though, still standing across the repair pioneers, are just moving up, sorting that out. In fact, they're repairing. No, that's just some regular pioneers, never mind. Never mind.
Sniper ready for battle.
But again, I mean, General Hill is just waiting. He's just waiting for the right moment. He's going to hammer it home when he finds that right moment and the right spot to do it in. And in that case, PowerGuido is going to be very, very sorry. So there you go, a bit of registered artillery up north.
Enemy unit down.
More rocket artillery. Oh, goody goody. Americans are pushing on, and this might be it, in fact. Getting another Stook, though. Adding a fourth assault gun. Tank destroyers rolling up. Going in for the kills, and again, note, Veterans of 3 will not provide really any protection for them. Allied war machine going up. Ooh, General Hill again, he's being a bit too, I think, rough, a bit too blunt. Though again, it might work with a person as passive as PowerGuido. Calliope barrage just firing in madly. Killing several grenadiers outright. Tank destroyer managed to get away. That's something. Others two are ready, though. They could quickly move in. In fact, the Stooks are actually heavily, some of them actually pretty damaged. This could be it, though, and he's actually now moving forward. For some reason, PowerGuido is finally moving in with the Stooks when they are damaged. What a klutz. PowerGuido, du Dummkopf. There we go. Stook down. The M10's got a kill. And, of course, the infantry right next, of course, exposed to snipers. There we go. This is definitely turning out to be a very bad decision. Tank just moving in to crush any Calliope barrage. And there we go, another Stook down. And his infantry's all of a sudden bleeding very heavily. He's only got one left now. Of course, Angry Pussycat needs to repair it, and of course at the same time moving in to hit the flanks. Of course, he's bleeding out of victory points, and that might have been what PowerGuido was going for all along. But again, I'd not recommend going specifically for a victory point victory. That sort of thing where you realise, okay, I can't win this through direct engagement, at least from somewhere. Then I go for victory points. But I don't think it should be sort of the main only way of trying to win, which rather seems to be what PowerGuidos are trying to do. Riven, getting absolutely murdered. The Nebelwerfer tears through them, burns through their bones, rendering them but matchsticks afterwards. Going for Calliope barrage right there on the Nebelwerfer, trying to silence the Germans' artillery. Not quite succeeding. Tank destroyers repaired. Only 2 assault guns up, and they are spread out again. He's doing it again. No, wait, there they are. Never mind. Dane being a bit too quick to judge. My apologies. 3 snipers, still not what we like to see. But again, I'd certainly not like to see that sort of passiveness either. Speeding things out again. More artillery. Again, the attempt is to try and get that Nebelwerfer, and he did. He even got the medic bunker up there, leaving the rest of the support medic bunker positions a bit more exposed. And there we go. Tank destroyers moving up. Coming under fire from the assault gun, though. The Sturmgeschützsphere. And there we go. Rolling in. If only he had a bit more, though. And he's actually moving in, so the other Stook is actually going to have a bit of trouble supporting the first one. This could be dangerous. There we go. The Allied War Machine up again. And if only PowerGuido had been more aggressive, or at least gone for the Panzer Command. Sadly, he had not. Another Calliope barrage actually cutting off the infantry from supporting. Main gun destroyed. Not going to quite be able to get that. And there we go. Both tank destroyers recovered. Now he just needs a Pershing to finish off this mess. Rather than again going for the victory point, again they are coming under fire from the assault guns. Their machine guns blazing into the night. And of course their guns killing Americans left and right. Calliope firing back though. Getting the assault gun, of course. Leaving behind only one to hold. And definitely again, this is where PowerGuido's passiveness is hurting him. Instead of trying to get to hunt down and perhaps, do some damage, at least force him back further. And yes, I know that seems a bit rude, but again, sometimes when a person bothers you in a game, it can be frustrating because again, you're trying to focus on one thing, and being ruined of that focus can be a bit annoying. I certainly won't deny that fact, which again is also why I'd suggest, respect when I'm in a ranked game, not to say much more than good luck. Fine enough, but don't, go about asking me a lot of questions. I will get angry, and yes, I do apologize, of course, but when I'm in a tense game, I just want to be in that tense game and win it, not answer questions on the meaning of life. But again, PowerGuido's position is a lot more vulnerable now. Again, it's a lot less grand because again, he's way too passive and he's doing it again. And now, of course, the Pershing has arrived, and this is pretty much the final nail in the coffin. It's the end to PowerGuido's power. His Götterdämmung, if you will. Another Stook moving up. I mean, he sacrificed quite a few of those. And he's going to be held accountable for everyone lost. Make no mistake. Now, of course, that Stook is pretty much outmaneuvered. Grenadiers getting squished. Rocket artillery going in on the Pershing, but of course it's just going to move through that. Because who cares about standing still when you're just facing Stooks? And of course, since he's gone defensive, he can't really increase his firepower of the Stooks again. Like, say, you know, going blitzkrieg. So in that sense, Guido also left himself in a bit of a problematic situation there. And he should have been expecting a Pershing sooner or later, which again is why you then go for the Panzer Command to get a Panther to try and help with that. But again, he didn't. And now he's paying the price. Or more specifically, his men are paying the price. When the field police finds him, of course, then he will pay the price. Naval gone. I mean, this is pretty much game over. He is now, in fact, gutted. He went from a strong position, but again, through basically sitting about, he lost it all. Another Stug on the way, but again, it's not going to do anything. It is too little, too late. And another Grenadier squad simply vanished beneath the treads of a Wolverine. And the medics basically can only watch in horror as their comrades are squished and they are without employment. Main gun destroyed, another one, another unit down. He's basically down to just one Grenadier squad and one tank assault. He's down to one Grenadier squad, let me correct. He's down to one Stug. I mean, again, he's pretty much lost this game. Tank destroyer down. Pershing versus the Sturmgeschütz. Another one being called onto the field. I mean, there's no way he's going to win this. I have no idea why he's actually persisting with this. And there we go. Game over without a word. PowerGuido slinks out the back door and runs for his dear life. So there you go. I mean, a perfectly good game wasted by one of the worst sins of company heroes. Sitting about your arse, twiddling your thumbs. Passivity. Again, do not get passive. Even with defensive doctrine, defensive does not necessarily mean you're supposed to just sit there and smoke. What it means is you're supposed to sort of absorb the enemy's attack and then counterattack. If you're going for blitzkrieg, you're more trying about attacking to sort of retake the initiative. Terror, rockets, kill, stuff, King Tigers, slightly different in that sense, but I mean with the defensive, it's not just sort of a means to just sit about doing nothing. And Angry Pussycat just kept hammering away until he got that weak spot and he exploited it finally. And again, had PowerGuido at any stage led a proper assault with the assault guns, he probably could have won this, but again, he just sat back. And he lost because of it. I mean, General Hell, though, could also have lost had had PowerGuido actually pushed forwards. What could he... General Hell, again, he could probably go on for some Shermans, outgunned them. He might have stood a much better chance, at least in a direct engagement, where the tank destroyers are not very good. And that was all the problem. He kept throwing them in the situation where they weren't strong. Again, he should have used outgunned Shermans there, perhaps even with the smoke, to then help flank the Stooks. Not tank destroyers. But there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, well, why not send a replay beyond? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers. And of course, pre-order coming here too. Sats an order.